This is a transcript between my opposing counsel for HOA strategies in the federal court with my podiatrist doctor.
To you. Hello, this Brian. Hi, Brian. This is Brian Williams. Hey, Brian Dugsunway here. Thanks for giving me a call back. I just want to let you know that I represent the condo association where David Crossett lives, and I'm trying to help them respond to his request for accommodations. And they're inclined to grant an accommodation where necessary, and I'm just making sure they dot I's and cross T's. So I just had a couple of questions about the letter you wrote, if you don't mind. Okay. It has Nathan Payne's name on the top right-hand corner, but I'm assuming you wrote the letter, not Nathan, right? Correct. Yes, yeah, and down at the bottom, yeah, I saw that. I just wasn't sure because in my emails with David, he said, Doug, you should have received a letter from Nathan Payne. So, and all of our letterhead says, yeah, oh, gotcha. Care. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, that clarifies that. If you don't mind my asking, how long have you treated Mr. Crossett? For the part of the year, and weekly visits for the last 4 months. Okay. And talking about the live-in aids, I understand that you're recommending live-in aid, rotating shifts. And is that are all 3 or 4 going to be doing the same things? Is that what you're recommending? Or is it like 3 to 4, but there's one person on a shift at a time type thing? Kind of like the one-person shift. The problem is that he requires multiple, as you can't move like his mobility is so severe limited. That he's been in a situation before where he's fallen, and I don't know if you ever met him or not, but he's a large man. And one person can't move him. Yeah, so you might need at least 2 there to lift him. Correct. Okay. Can you tell me, my understanding is having a live-in aid, they need some kind of training. What kind of training do you suggest that these types of LIN aids have? Or can it literally just be anybody? I don't. I need a basic understanding of his condition as well as the training necessary to help with his medications. Yeah. You do say that medical coordination support mobility to understand. Strong enough at least, right? A couple of people to lift him if he falls. Medical coordination. And when you say medical coordination, you mean making sure he's taking the appropriate meds when he needs to? Correct. Okay. Correct. So appropriate medication when he needs to, but also because of his medication that he's... Oh, gotcha. Okay. Now, my understanding was that his wife has kind of been taking care of him. Is your recommendation that she's not capable of doing these types of things, and that's why he needs LIN aids? Correct. Okay. Again, just not capable of lifting him and moving. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can understand that for sure. And, okay, I think that may be it. As far as the shifts go, you're not offering an opinion about the length of the shifts, right? Correct. Okay. They're right. And as far as the financial issue goes, are you? I'm assuming you're not. Did you get into it with David Crossett about what he pays them or what? You know how that works? I did not. Okay. Okay. In your experience where maybe you have recommended living aid before, is there a customary range of what the patient would need to pay a live-in aid, or how that works and how they get paid? Is there an agency that you go through, or do you know what I mean? They kind of runs the gamut of things. It's from people that are hired families, people that are hired for individuals. There are certainly a number of agencies that are out there. There's a number of ways that people kind of work that out with patients. Yeah. Okay. So I think the last thing I wanted to talk with you, Brian, is, I don't know if David shared this with you, but this is one of the reasons why we want to vet this, is because for about a year, David, who isn't on title to the unit, his wife is, and so he resides there, he has been asking for an accommodation from the condo association to allow him to rent individual condo rooms within his condo unit to supplement his income. And he requested that multiple times, and I've gone back and forth with him. He filed a lawsuit against me personally, against my law firm and 10 board members and the management company, saying that under the Fair Housing Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act, he's entitled to an accommodation to support his income, to supplement his income. That case got dismissed from federal court, and he re-upped the same request. And he keeps saying that he is entitled to accommodation to supplement his income. When I explained to him that the Fair Housing Act and ADA do not support income issues, right, it's more for your disability. Correct. The very next day, Brian, he sent me this request saying, I need live-in aids. And it was for the same number of people that he was asking to be able to rent rooms out to before. So it was just the timing of it was just a little bit too strange to just say, okay, yeah, sounds great. We'll give you the accommodation. He was saying he wanted to rent out some rooms to 3 or 4 people where they would pay him rent, right? And when we said, sorry, that's against the condo rules. You can rent your whole place out if you want, but not individual rooms. And then we get this letter from you and then a second letter from you. So I'm just letting you know the backstory here because I want to make sure that he really does need live-in aids, even though he's still telling me that these live-in aids may be paying him rent or help supplement household expenses and it seems like an end around. But I'm trusting your letter. If you're saying that he needs these live-in, you know what I mean. Limited mobility. And I can believe that. I've seen him and yeah, I get that. In position are both severely limited. As far as people renting his room that are his that pay him rent, that doesn't seem in to me. Well, let me listen. We're looking to accommodate him with something, but like, in your opinion, does he need all 3 or 4 to be there overnight? You know what I mean? Like, hey, have as many as you need to come in during the different shifts, but do all 3 or 4 need to be there overnight? Staying there, you know what I mean? Or can that be one of the shifts, right? That's one of the shifts. Understanding that one of the shifts. Yeah. And the way that when he asked me to write a letter, that's the way that he told me the case. Okay. Well, I appreciate your taking my call, Brian, and this does clarify it. I think there is an accommodation, obviously, to be made. We just want to make sure that there is a legitimate need, which it sounds like there is for some type of aids to help him. We just also need to do our due diligence to make sure he's not utilizing the F as an end around to supplement his income the way he had asked for the last year. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Alright. Honesty, that part seems not very legit to be quite honest. You know, that's not the situation that this works in. You know, typically, you hire an aide, you pay for an aide because that's what that's the job that they do. Not necessarily this situation. Right. And that's honestly the main issue here is, if he's looking to supplement his income, then the presumption is anybody staying with him would be paying rent. It wouldn't make sense for him to be trying to supplement his income if what he's offering in exchange, instead of paying these people, maybe he offers them room and board or something. That's a different story. But all along, he's been saying, I want to supplement my income, meaning he gets money. So it wouldn't make sense as I'm reading this letter saying, oh, so you're going to have living aids that are going to help you with all these things and they're paying you for the opportunity to serve you? You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm trying to figure out really what's going on. But your letter is clear about his need for some live-in folks. I'm trying to just make sure that it's the rental aspect that we kind of nail down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Again, that's not how these situations work. That's just not, the that you need he does legitimately have assistance needs and needs to have some sort of medical training in those aids. Okay. And again, each of the aid would pretty much be performing the same tasks as just different shifts, right? So it's not like, I need one specific aid for my medication, one specific aid for lifting, one specific aid for safety, right? Like, okay, I got you. I don't where that would need to be the case. Awesome. Okay. Alright, Brian, thank you so much. I appreciate you getting back to me, and I think that's all I need for now. If something else does come up or if David asks you for more of a letter or whatever, I'm sure we may be talking again, but as you can see, I'm just trying to do right by the condo association because do you have to protect what the job that you to do for them, right? Well, and believe it or not, you've got other people who are kind of watching this particular issue because they would love to rent out individual rooms. And so if David can do it and he's quite vocal in the community, then we just got to make sure that it's a legitimate need. And I'm sure you see this all the time. Legitimate needs are important to preserve, and there may be people out there who want to abuse the protections that the FHA and ADA offer when they don't really need it, whether it's emotional support animal or whatever. And it just harms those people who have the legitimate need. Right. So, I mean, as far as his legitimate, I 100% believe that he does legitimately have need for aid and assistance. It does sound like he's kind of going about it the wrong way, though. Yeah, we want to certainly accommodate him where he needs it, and it does sound like he needs some assistance for the items you identified in the letter. So that's the route we'll go. And if something comes up about this supplementing of income, we can address that as well. But okay, Brian, thanks, my man. I appreciate your help. We'll. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, you too. Sent from Yahoo Mail for iPhone. End of email. Listening.
Stop.
Stop.
Well, there you heard a conversation between opposing counsel and my podiatrist, Dr. Williams. I'm recording it because I now have evaluated it with HIPAA laws. And basically I'm going to put that video up right behind this one that basically you can decide for yourself. Were HIPAA laws violated there? Would you want your doctor giving that kind of private information to anybody, even if it wasn't opposing counsel in a lawsuit? The letter basically, I believe, stands on its own. Mr. Shumway has harassed my other doctor, Dr. Morrell, who wrote a letter that indicated that I need 3 full-time live-in aides. And when Shumway tried to harass him, when Shumway tried to threaten him with subpoenas, Dr. Brett Morrell was educated, well-informed, and just ignored the attorney. And this doctor, Dr. Williams, you can see the conversation with Dr. Williams. Was he advocating for me? Was he giving out private information? If you look at the HIPAA laws, you can decide for yourself. But I'm recording this now, and I'm going to put it up on YouTube, and now I'm going to put another video up that the HIPAA laws are going to be evaluated, and we'll see what the AI says was in this conversation. Thank you. I appreciate it, David Crossett. And today is February 2nd, 2026. Thank you very much.